Good morning again, guys. Well, it's 6:30 in the morning. It's Friday, and you know what Fridays always bring. And here it is, 6:30 in the morning, and we're on the second video of the day already. I get the feeling I'm going to be going nonstop today with stuff that's coming out. So this one's some good news and some scary news. The good news is, overnight, or late last night, the Supreme Court, in an emergency session, threw out the eviction moratorium. Basically, we all knew this was coming because it was unconstitutional from the get-go from their last order. But in a 6-3 decision, of course, you had Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan who said, no, we've got to give free stuff to everybody. The cooler heads, the ones that actually follow the Constitution, at least they did this time, because I wouldn't say Roberts is exactly a constitutional justice, but they overturned the eviction moratorium. So I don't know, but I'm assuming that would take effect immediately. So hopefully they can start throwing all these freeloaders out on their ass. And we'll see what Biden does today, because like I said, this came out overnight. But sticking on the housing part, and this kind of goes back into the whole debacle in Afghanistan. Now, we know they are flying in Afghanis by the plane load and saying, hi, welcome to America. And the funny part is, I was telling you guys the other day that they're being housed, or if you will, in this community college outside of Dulles Airport. And I guess the Afghanis are already complaining about the conditions, because, I don't know, a roof over your head and air conditioning and maybe a warm meal in your belly is, so much worse than living in the mud hut that you had over in Afghanistan. Okay. Where, they just knock on your door and go, oh, are you 12 years old and female? Bang. Or you're getting married, one of the two. But they're going to complain about it. But this is typical. Okay. Give a man a penny, he wants $1. It drives me nuts. But, of course, then we have to have our illustrious progressive wing of the Democrat Party. They want, get this, they want the U.S. to resettle 1.2 million Afghanis. Really? On top of the expected 2 million foreign nationals coming across the southern border this year. All right. If you start thinking about it, that is literally nearly one immigrant per kid born in the United States. That means we would double the amount of people that we increased the population by, half of which wouldn't be American citizens. Think about that. If you now start getting to the population where half of us are citizens and half of us aren't, okay? That's an invasion, okay? Simply put, plain and simple. Now, obviously, like I've said a million times, you all know I'm not anti-immigrant, i.e. Mrs. P. And I will say this over and over and over again because I know there are people new and they don't understand that. Yes, Mrs. P is from Russia. And yes, we went through 5 years of paperwork and paying out money and God knows how much effort to get her here and get her as an American citizen. Okay. It wasn't, gee, she just wants to come over, get on a plane, and poof, she's here. Plus, the other thing is, I am required to pay for her. If we divorce, she doesn't get Section 8 or welfare or food stamps or anything like that. It's all on me. I had to sign that paperwork saying as such. And I've said before, who's paying for all these people? But AOC and the rest of her cronies think we should bring in 1.2 million Afghanis. Okay. Now, mind you, I want to give you the numbers. Like I said, I had to pay for Mrs. P to come over here and everything like that. And, probably by the time all was said and done, $6,000-7,000. Okay. Refugee resettlement costs. What it costs the taxpayer to bring refugees in. $9 billion with a B dollars every 5 years. Okay. Each refugee costs taxpayers about $133,000 over their lifetime. Now, I want to give you this. To pay off the national debt, okay, the $30 trillion that we owe roughly, it would be about $65,000 per person in the country. A refugee costs $133,000. So it costs each one of us twice as much to bring in a single refugee as it would be to pay the national debt down to zero. Think about that, okay? Then you get this one. Within the first 5 years, like I said, for 10 years, I'm responsible for Mrs. P. Within the first 5 years, 16% of all refugees admitted to the United States will need social programs, housing assistance, food stamps, etc. Maybe they had some money, maybe they've got some family, but then you get into the, I'm in the land of everything's free. I don't want to work. I want to be a Democrat. This is what happens. And I said the other day, okay, and I'm not taking anything away from a lot of people. There are refugees that are worthy of coming, okay? Not a problem, okay, that can contribute to society. But like I said, there are a whole bunch of them here who aren't. If they are completely vetted and translators or whatever it is, hey, maybe they get a job in the State Department. That's awesome, okay? Good. You're a contributing member to society. You're making a decent wage. You can pay yourself, and off and running you go, okay? But what we don't need is a whole bunch of people coming over here because, there ain't a whole lot of need for goat herders and poppy pickers in the United States, okay? And, other than that, you tell me what the big industry is coming out of Afghanistan. So tell me what the skills there are. Now, granted, there are probably doctors and engineers and things like that that come over that can contribute to society. We do not need more field workers or whatever it is. We're bringing enough of those over from the southern border. But I wanted to give you an idea of what's going on in the housing market. You think it's hard to rent an apartment now? You think the housing market, people are talking about, I bid on 20 houses and I haven't got any of them, okay? Imagine what happens if we bring in the 2 million border crossers from the southern border and 1.2 million from Afghanistan. That's 3.2 million, guys. That's adding 1% to the population like that. You think housing's hard to find now? Good luck. Enjoy the morning. Inevitably, I'll be back. Pinball out.